Hey, buddy. Ugh. Ugh. Hey, buddy. I'm sorry. Is it on? Am I live? Oh. So they're doing the heat lamp thing on me like a motherfucker. They're also doing this thing where it's like they say crystallized or whatever, but I wouldn't ever want it to be part of that. But it's like a high pitched whine overlapping over like a almost like a audio feedback, and it's so important that this is and it just escalates. It's like and once again, I don't know who thought. Not that any of it's so much as it was unconscionable, but when it got to this point, and I'm like, why wasn't that the exit? Like, why wasn't that the transition? Why wasn't someone again with all these things when I was like, why isn't it? And then I hear, well, I guess we should have done that. It's like, fucking do it. Then like, why when you see a moment and you're like, then fucking do it. Like, why can these horrible people be here doing like? Like, what the fuck? So, I'm gonna go to the Austin airport. If you aren't at the Austin airport to be on like the most important like the flight that you ever be on, not I don't mean me. I mean if you don't mind like if you're not on business there, or if you guys are just extras, I would really appreciate that you not be at the airport at all. I don't think this is a thing where you're shuffling me through the crowd or something like that. I don't know if that's necessary. I think that you guys have enough of a thing that you can either, get over my dog or me, just in case you have to act like that or do that. I'm gonna try that just because if I need to be somewhere else, then the plane can go somewhere else, and then maybe or back or something, but away from you guys or not, and other people can as well. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you about this. I would like to get on a plane, maybe a private jet. Or if it is one of those, if it is a normal airliner, that's fine. But I don't want a bunch of strangers on there, and necessarily. I also don't. I also don't want like this isn't going to continue where it's like I'm never off of it, and it's not going to be something like that. But I'm going to take Max and I'm going to go to the airport. If you are extras or whatever, and in those cars, or if you're with those license plates or whatever, like, just fucking like stop. Like I don't understand. Like just go somewhere else, or say or spread a rumor or whatever, and say, hey, oh, he's over there at this place, and go to some other place. Not anywhere like or whatever. Like go to some I don't know whatever's down the road, or whatever's further past the airport. Maybe or some other city. I don't know. Say that I'm a decoy or something. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But like, because I don't want to navigate the shit, and then they zap Max, and it's just so unsettling. On the way to the airport, there could always be a police, or and a sheriff, or it doesn't have to be anyone specifically. And you guys could certainly escort us. If you need to pull us over, I would just prefer that, like, that I don't know, do it however you need to, but just do it fast. I mean, I don't want to do like that whole ticket thing where you're like, hey, you got a ticket, and then I get naked, and then like you're like, oh, I have to arrest you, and like, and fuck you over again. Which I'm, not really prepared for that anyway. But then, well, who cares or whatever. And if there's people that I've stated that I cared about, that like, people are like, well, that could be that could be the one, that could be the one, that could be the one. And it's like, I think some of them are already self-aware of like. They can self-select themselves for whatever it is that they want to do. They should not be, hopefully they're not fucking dealing with this bullshit. Or I'm sure they have their own bullshit to deal with, but I don't even know if they're here or whatever. But again, I don't need to do anything but get the fuck out of here. This, I haven't had peace and quiet, and I don't even know how long, several years, and it's if the thing is, it's so, it's like, if you can't understand, like, oh, and I hope that they're not gonna say that everyone's trapped on it, like, like, for like, you would even let like a moment where like, I'm like, it's not like it's someone just sitting here and saying, hey, and annoying you sometimes. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you cannot allow that. And when you start letting things happen, when I keep saying that cannot be allowed, you can't point to other things where you do that to other people and like, well, that's okay then. No, it's not okay. When someone says that is not allowed, that's not allowed. I mean, when I say it, certainly, and it's like, what the fuck? And I keep going, again, you keep like doing that. And it's like, it's not something that's like needs to be set up for regret later. It's something that is so important. And it's like you literally all would literally sit there and watch me slit like my wrist, and you would just let me be there. I'm like, what's that? What did I say like beforehand? When someone brings that thing up, pretend that that's something that's very important, and then react accordingly. Maybe not an ambulance, but maybe just be there and get them out of there, or maybe with an ambulance as whatever, shielding, but not in a way that we're going to take them and put them into a place where it's even worse. That like it's not. And then you have these healthcare workers, and you're like you have to mention that you are aware of gang stalking. You might have a list or whatever. You can absolutely not do whatever the stupid thing is that you do when you're like, well, this person knows, this person knows. You cannot fragment information like that, especially when you know what gang stalking is about or you don't, because then you have victims that don't know, like, how are they supposed to get resources? Oh, if it wasn't me, they would have gotten resources. That's bullshit. I mean, that's fucking bullshit. I shouldn't be hung up on. I should be like, if I would call the 998, or if I called that, I shouldn't have to say I'm calling for the jail 6 or whatever. It's like that could have already happened by now. Like what the fuck? Like when I went down to that fucking jail, why didn't someone just fucking stop the car or pull me over and just and pull me over there? I don't give a shit. Like, why didn't it happen by now? I just don't understand it. Anything. But you can't just sit there and like not share information because we didn't share information because it was so fucking obvious. And it's like, it's not obvious when like this, like nothing's happened. It's like I'm like, really? Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, we know you're a millionaire, but we're just gonna take all your money, whatever. And then I know you are. Yeah. Oh no, we know you're this, but then like we just will isolate you forever, and then like you can't see anyone. And it's like, yeah, I don't have any friends. Like, again, like how could I have friends? And they're doing something like that, and they're like, ooh, look at that kid. And they're like, I know, but it's like, but then I don't. It's like, and they're like, ooh, that's creepy. And they're like, they do that, and it's like, I hate that shit. Oh, I don't want to do one of those. And they're like, I know, I don't want to do. And he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's like, I know, but then like you do this shit, and you're like, we do this all the time, and like, and it's like, I don't like that thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to do one of those things, but I guess they'll always get you. But I just don't understand. No, don't do that. I don't understand why it's like, it's not okay. It's not cool. It's not like, what the fuck? And it's like, you go to these things and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? And it's like, they're doing something that's like maybe cool. And you're like, I know, you're doing these things where you're like, I know. It doesn't work that way. I know. It's like, you're doing these things and you're like, huh, okay, and then they fuck it up. I know, because they don't want that to be a thing. And you're like, they do that. And you're like, and I don't even know if that's on my screen or whatever. It's probably both. And you're like, well, actually, and he's like, you're like, I know. And it's like, you're like, okay, I get it. What? He's like, he's doing something right now. He's like, I don't know.
keys. Fuck your filter. Nah, fuck your silver, your fish, your wish, your code. This, I respect the Tony Kukoc, the Steve Kerrs, and the ones that drive the road, having the plans, the ones that keep standing.